Alright, so this was my very first guitar project ever. Before this, I've never done anything on guitars at all except for play them. So that picture was when I first started. These were the oldest pictures I could find of my Squier. That picture was back from like 7th grade. But anyway, the reason why I originally started this project was because I ended up messing with my guitar. I ended up cutting a wire on the inside, and little did I know that could easily be fixed. But you know, back then I thought, oh god, I broke my guitar. It's now I'll never be able to play it. So then I was just like, well, I can experiment with this guitar. I could try to install a Floyd Rose or something, repaint it. I don't know. I could just mess around with it, and then hopefully get new pickups or something, make it cool. So that's what I did. I stripped it down. I filled up all the holes right there, and I decided to route for a Floyd Rose. And of course, before this, I've never done any painting, never used any power tools. So of course, I've never routed before. So this first picture of me routing here, right there, that was the very first time I ever used a router. So for the very first time, I was pretty happy with myself because it wasn't too bad. It was, I mean, there were some rough spots, but you know, overall it was pretty even. So I was very proud of myself. Never used a sander. I had to sand all that crap down. So you know, I was very pleased with myself. You know, and this is what really got me started. And this was back in like 2008, 2009, back when I very first started all this guitar stuff. And of course, I've done so many projects since then, and I've learned so much. You could see my newest video, The Fireman, see how much better I've gotten with all that. And there's so many imperfections with this project, or at least in the beginning. The second half was newer. The second half of this video is newer, and you'll see. I'll explain as we get there. But for the longest time, I thought this project was done. Like I was just gonna throw it away, but I ended up fixing it. And yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that later. So there's so many imperfections. I'll explain them as we go on. Originally, I was going to reuse those pickups, so that's why the pickguard was there. I was going to have to modify it to fit a Floyd Rose, which is a Schaller, by the way. That's why it's so much shorter than like an original Floyd Rose cavity, because they're significantly smaller than an original Floyd Rose or any other licensed Floyd Rose. So, yeah, there's that. I still have to finish routing that. As you can see, it's all level there. I got to make the recessed part a little deeper. You'll see that soon. And I decided to do a fabric finish because after all the research I've done in Project Guitar and forums and all that, fabric finish seemed like the easiest thing to do at the time for someone who's never done any of this stuff. You don't have to worry about like making the paint too, I don't know, it just seemed easier. Which it didn't really matter what I did, I would have screwed up either way, and I did. You'll see. So there's the fabric I chose. I thought it reminded me of like dragon skin or something like that, so I thought it looked really cool. And eventually, I'm going to go back and redo all of this on like a different guitar and show people how to do a fabric finish right. That way they don't make the same mistakes I made, which I'll explain as we go on. One thing that I really messed up on was, for one, I didn't sand even. It was all uneven, bumpy. There were bubbles in the fabric finish. And as you can see right there, the edges, I didn't make a smooth transition from the fabric finish to the body. So when I sprayed the sunburst finish over it, you could still see it. It was bumpy. Even after all the clear coats in the end, you could still feel it and see it, and it was just disgusting. And then also, I always sprayed it at the wrong time, so I got a whole bunch of orange peel. And I had the little veins that you get from all the humidity and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up having to sand and respray a whole bunch of times, and I still didn't really get all of it out. I never really took pictures of that, but just take my word for it, it was bad. But it's all gone. You'll see in the end, the second half, I just completely changed all this and made it a hardtail and repainted and all that. But we'll get to that, you'll see. So here's after all the sanding seal, trying to cover up all the fabric, I guess. So it's kind of smooth there, but it's still not even per se. It's not level on the whole top of the body. It's all uneven, bumpy and hilly and horrible. So, oh yeah, and then I had to redo the headstock twice. You'll see pictures of that because I just messed up so many times on it. Here's the Poor Boy Sunburst finish from Project Guitar. I got all the fabric finish and this idea from Project Guitar. It's a very good website. I recommend it to anyone getting into guitar stuff. repairing mods, anything really. It has a whole bunch of good stuff on guitars. So there's the Poor Boy Sunburst finish. The color didn't really match, but you know, for $3 a can, you can't beat that, and I still thought it looked pretty cool. Like, if I would have done that red, I think that would have been a sick guitar, but you know, it's a sick guitar now. After what I've done to it, you'll see that soon. Like I said, once again. But see, look at that. Look at the tummy cut. It's all uneven. There's bubbles. Horrible. But anyway, sorry about me going back and forth between a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to explain this before the video runs out. So there's it all. There. I try. See, look. It's not even shiny. It's all dull, uneven. There's a picture of me doing the headstock. I just sanded it all down, and I decided to leave the back unfinished this time and just make a matching headstock. I ended up tossing that neck. I still have it, but you know, it's not usable now unless I go back and put a new truss rod in. Because when I was drilling for the locking nut, I try to make it like awesomeness style, where the bolts come from the back instead of the top, like most companies do. And I don't know why I try to do that. It's a lot more work, and for a beginner trying to take on something more advanced like that, it wasn't very smart. So I ended up accidentally hitting the truss rod and just ruining it, so it was broken. So that neck is virtually useless until I decide to fix it, which I could do now, but you know, it's really not worth it. It's a cheap-ass neck. So I ended up getting a scalloped Fender maple neck, which you'll see later on. But yeah, so for now, at this point in the video, I was going to use those same pickups that were broken just because of the one wire. I was going to fix it, but then later on decided just to get EMGs, which you'll see. I'm really not an active pickup kind of guy, but you know, I like to have a variety. So now I have one guitar with active EMGs. So, you know, everything else is passive and different kinds of pickups that I have on my guitars, so it's good to have variety, I guess, different sounds. But anyway, there's the old pick guard right there. I had to modify it to fit a Ford Rose, which I don't even use now. That was just a waste of time. But I learned so much from all this. If you check out my new Fireman video, you can see how much better I got, like I said before. And I'll post videos of my other projects in between all this, and I'll post videos of my future projects. But oh yeah, here's the locking nut situation I was telling you about. I didn't show any pictures of the truss rod, but it's alright. So there was just from the top, and then once I tried to go through, it was just horrible. But anyway, after this all went through the roof, I decided just to sand it all down. I didn't take pictures of this, I don't know why I didn't, but I ended up cutting out all that Floyd Rose thing and putting in blocks of poplar to make it all solid again, as you can see right there. And I'm just gonna make it hardtail. So there's the wood. I did front and back, and then right there I routed out for a battery cavity for the EMGs, being that they're active, so I don't have to keep constantly going underneath the faceplate. So I decided to make it metallic purple, which is right there. You can't really tell it's too metallic-y because during all the sanding, the metallic aspect kind of went away, but it still looks really sweet. So you can already see how much better it is than before. It's actually even, and it's going to get really shiny and glossy, and I'm really happy with it. So there's 800 grit wet sanding after all the clear coats and all that. So there's 1000. You see it getting smoother. It's still dull because, you know, I'm not polishing it yet. 1500. 2000. Now we're going to start using the medium cut, and it starts getting a little shine there. Medium cut again. Now we're moving up to fine cut. Now it's really starting to get a shine. Not really in that picture, but right here. Fine cut. Then we move on to the swirl mover, and now it really starts to get its like gloss on. And man, it's looking good. It looks so much better than before already. There's the scallop neck. I'll post videos of me playing it and stuff. All put together. I just have to bolt on the neck. So I'm trying to line it up here. You'll see a string in the next picture. There it is. Lining it all up. And here it is all done. And it plays very nice. I play it all the time. I love scallop necks now. It's my first scallop neck. And here's the best picture I took of it. Look at that. I love it. Hope you guys liked it. I'll post more videos soon.